Welcome back to Lock and Reload with Ryan. I'm going to go ahead and try to make this in a timely fashion, but this will be my review on my WASR 10 GP, or my WASR 10 63 GP. Now there are lots of misconceptions out there. I do have a video on misconceptions about the WASR 10, but this is going to be more of a formal review. Things that I like, the things I don't like. First and foremost, one of the biggest things that I love about this rifle, it's an AK-47. It's a variant, but it is an AK-47. And the name and the word in the name AK-47 just screams reliability. I don't care if it's a WASR 10. I don't care if it's an Arsenal. I don't care if it's a Hungarian S85, a Bulgarian rifle, a Mac 90. All AKs are accurate, or not accurate. All AKs are reliable. They're gonna function in the worst and most diverse conditions. Some function better than others, but they're all gonna function. They're all gonna be reliable. That's the one thing that I love about AKs. Accuracy varies from AK to AK. You know, it depends on the manufacturer, it depends on the wrench time. Generally speaking, the WASR 10 is always going to be the bottom of the barrel. The one thing I don't care for, one of many things that I don't care for about the rifle, is the fit and finishing, the quality control at Century Arms. They don't have the greatest quality control. So therefore, it's up to us, the firearm owner, to either get a qualified gunsmith to do the work on it, or if you're knowledgeable, you do some work on it, whether it be, you know, smoothing out your action, whether it be, you know, adding, you know, a forward, your forearm and your stock to your pistol grip, to your muzzle attachment, whether it be a muzzle brake, whether it be a threaded silencer, whether it be a flash hider like I got. The things that I had to change out on it, I did have to change out the rear stock, the butt stock. I had to change out the pistol grip and the forearm, and I added a flash hider. The reason I changed these out is, one, I didn't care for the wood furniture that came on it. Personally, it screamed cheap. It screamed get it out the door in a big hurry. But these are things that you can change out. They're simple, inexpensive, because the AK platform, like the AR, you can buy all kinds of aftermarket parts for them. Anyways, the barrel was a little canted to the right, which isn't terrible. You can just adjust the sight accordingly, and I did, so it wasn't terrible. And that's about pretty much the only modification outside of the bolt carrier and the action slides that I had to smooth out. But it was a little bit more fit and finishing than I really wanted to do, but you know what, I have fun doing it. I'm an aspiring gunsmith. I mean, I don't know everything and anything, but you know, I learn as I go. I've learned a lot about these rifles, not just the WASR 10, but AKs in general. I've learned a lot in the last year and whatnot, so I'm not the AK gun guy, because one guy told me I was. No, it doesn't. It takes more than one person to tell you you're the AK guy. You may be knowledgeable, but the only person that knows everything about AK-47 is Mikhail Kalashnikov. He's the only guy who knows everything about it, because he was the designer. He was the guy who invented it. It'd be like John Browning not knowing anything about his 1911. He's the one who designed it. He knows everything about it. But I digress. The sights are pretty decent on here. I do like the sights. I like them a lot. I really do like my new pistol grip on it and whatnot. Another thing that I don't care for, it doesn't have a mag dimple. Now, everybody pisses and moans because these things have a lot of mag wobble. But again, if you're buying a WASR 10, go through 10, 20 of them. You know, find the best one, because generally that best one is going to be the best it can be. and then anything afterwards, if you can fix it, so be it, do it. But I don't care for the fact that it has no mag dimple. But that can be an easy fix. There's a few YouTube videos out there. I haven't had to do anything to it because I don't have a whole lot of mag wobble. I really don't. And especially another easy fix is go with a Tapco magazine. You'll have very, very little to no mag wobble. But like every AK, you need mag wobble. You know, some are just more severe than others because you don't want this thing to have a really tight fit. If it has a tight fit, it's not going to function. So you need that little bit of mag wobble for the magazine to operate. Not to mention, if this thing is really tight, it's going to be extremely hard to get a magazine put into it. But anyway, I don't currently have a mag to show you because, well, actually, I think I do. I have a steel and I have a Tapco. So for instance, mag wobble. It's not too terribly, but again, the one thing I've noticed with steel mags, this is Eastern Block, when these are fully loaded, very, very little to no mag wobble. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is empty. When they're empty, there's a considerable amount of mag wobble. But when you have a loaded mag, this has got 30 rounds in it, see? Very little to none. And I think all AKs are like that. Now, this is a Tapco polymer mag. I like Tapco a lot. Very little to no mag wobble. I know it's a little 10 round. It's a bad representation because I use 10 rounds for target shooting and whatnot. But every AK is going to have a mag wobble. It's just some of them are more severe than others. Anyway, overall, the quality control of Century Arms isn't great, but they did build a functional rifle. It is fairly accurate. By the way, it is chrome lined. All WASR 10s are. The only AK variant that isn't chrome lined, I believe, is the Yugoslavian M70 because they do not have chrome deposits or chromium deposits, so they don't make their rifles chrome lined. Same thing with the Yugo SKS. They're never chrome lined either. But all in all, I like the rifle. It functions well, and here's my thing. There's a lot of YouTube videos that dog these rifles. That's fine. If you got a crappy one, speak your mind. Do what you got to do. You have the right to freedom of speech. That's what I love about this country. But there's a lot of people that honestly don't know what their Constitution is. But we won't. That's a different topic at a later date. But it's functional. It's an AK. It works well. And for those of you that find WASR 10s a piece of junk, so be it. I like this rifle. It's comfortable to shoot. I like it because it's mine. And it shoots well. And I don't care what anybody else says. They can persuade me all they want. I like this rifle. Anyways, because nobody else's opinion matters to me. It's mine. My opinion and my opinion only. And anyway, that being said, you have a lot of people out there also that put an AK variant or an AK-47 in the same category as an AR platform. You cannot put an AK platform, whether it be an AK-74 or an AK-47 or a Sega, you cannot put any of those in the same category. They're two different platforms. The biggest difference is one says AR, one says AK. Two different. One was made by Eugene Stoner, the other one was made by Mikhail Klishnikov. One was Russian, one's American. That's a big difference. One has generally a stamped receiver, the other one has a milled receiver. The AR is going to be superior as far as accuracy. Not saying that AKs aren't accurate at all, they're actually very accurate. It just depends on the ammunition that you're shooting down the pipe. There's a lot of different variants on it. There's a lot of crappy 5.56 ammo, and there's a lot of crappy 7.62 39 ammo. It just depends on what you're shooting, who's shooting, and I laugh at this every time I have somebody at the range telling me, this gun shoots like shit. Well, you know, in a lot of cases it's not the rifle, it's usually the shooter. But anyways, I digress. It's a functional rifle. They're inexpensive, they work. I would rely my life on this rifle because it's an AK. You essentially can shoot it in any situation, any condition, diverse conditions. They're going to function. I shot this thing at 13 below. I've shot in this thing at 100 degrees out. I've shot in this thing, you know, moderate out. You know what? This thing functions flawlessly. But anyway, I'm happy with it, and this is my overview and my review of my WASR 10. Your mileage may differ on your particular WASR 10. You might have bought a piece of junk, but if you bought a piece of junk, obviously you weren't paying attention on what you were buying, or you have no idea what you're doing buying a firearm. If you have no idea what to look for in a firearm or how to buy a firearm, stay away from firearms altogether. But at any rate, this is Lock and Reload with Ryan. Catch you later.